I think financial literacy is something that, we don't have in this country. And if there was a higher financial literacy rate, I think, people would vote wiser. People would look at policy closer. People need to take ownership over their lives and their future and stop believing that the government is going to be this panacea for the future.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Well, AI is invading everything, machine learning, everywhere you look, whether it's driving, whether it's writing text, copy, or wherever. It seems to be the latest rage. Well, how about one here that will replace so-called a modern portfolio theory with a more updated, a more flexible means of assuring your investment diversification? Joseph Gradante is with us now. You are a financial expert, founder of Alio Finance. It's great to have you on the show, Joseph. So tell us, how big a deal is Alio Finance and what you're trying to do here?
Well, we obviously think it's a really big deal, and we hope to be the future of finance. We hope to lead the way for retail investors into sophisticated investing. Because even though there's been great technologies from a UX perspective that have come out in fintech, really there's nothing behind the hood when it comes to the technology. I mean, you look at Wealthfront and Betterment, right? They're considered the best names in robo-advisory. Even, their riskiest portfolios have only done a little over 6% in that secular bull market. So the technology is antiquated, and we hope to lead the way into a new digital banking and wealth management experience.
All right. So how many people are using this right now?
So right now we're in beta, and we've already accumulated 3,000 users in beta, but we have 30,000 people on our waitlist. So it's, the biggest waitlist for a consumer fintech app in the past 4 years.
Really? So what's this going to cost?
It's just $1 a month, and you get, basically, you don't have to know where to start investing. You can start with change. You can use roundups. And what it does, so for example, with machine learning in an investment engine, the difference is, with other investment engines, they only use historical performance. So with machine learning, we're able to apply future forecasting models as well as probability correlations between asset classes. What I was talking about before, referencing how you can get alternative asset class exposure into the portfolio without the risk of fat tails. See, with mean variance optimization, it assumes normal distributions, but the climate that we're in right now has a lot of disequilibrium in it. And so there's anything but normal distributions. And that's why full-scale optimization is the right technology for this macro climate to get the exposure that you need to get the yield that you could get, in some of those spaces.
Okay. So have you back tested it and see how this thing has worked over the years?
Yes. Raymond Micheletti, our chief investment officer, he ran a few hedge funds. So he has models for the past 20 years, and they've been astonishingly accurate, which is why I made him my chief investment officer.
Okay. And so what kind of returns have you gotten?
Well, we've only had a quarter in the market, but let me give you an example. We did a tactical trade last month on QQQ, and we caught it right as tech was starting to boom. And so we were able to pick up an additional 8 percentage points just on that trade alone. Mm-hmm. So other robo-advisors aren't doing things like that, tactical plays, swing trades on portfolios. So you're getting this, investment engine, like I said, that has machine learning. Like, for example, when we met as an investment team, there was a time when we wanted to cut exposure to a certain sector. This was a Friday meeting in the finance meeting. When we came back in on Monday, the investment engine had already eliminated exposure to that sector. But to add an extra layer of filtration after the investment engine gives us its outputs, well, then the investment team looks at that and then looks at, historical circumstances, times that were analogous, and then we decide if we want to listen to the engine or not.
Okay, so that makes sense. And has this thing been wrong, and how wrong has it been?
Hasn't been wrong yet. But we've only been in the market, for a quarter. So, yeah.
I mean, but if everybody gets this bot, basically, everybody's either going to win or lose, right?
What do you mean everybody's going to win or lose? I mean, other people could win with different strategies. I mean, Warren Buffett and George Soros are both successful investors with different strategies. So we're not the only people that can navigate these markets, but obviously we believe in our strategy the best.
Of course, but let's say we get 10 million people using your strategy. All right. The majority of the players, or even a substantial minority of the players, will that in itself affect the market?
I guess if there's enough capital behind those trades, it could affect the market. I mean, big players affect the markets, BlackRock and other players. So yeah, if you have enough assets behind you, you could affect the market.
And so does that mean that everybody using it is a winner? Or, I mean, or it's kind of like the lawyer goes to the judge and says, Your Honor, you took a bribe from my adversary. How could you do this? This is terrible. And the judge responds back, hey, well, why don't you just have your client give me a bribe and then we can have a fair trial, right? So if everybody's using it or something similar, let's say there's going to be 10,000 iterations of this, where does that leave the market? It's just a bunch of bots each other around?
Well, not real. Well, if we're the only ones doing full-scale optimization, right, and we are right now, but you have different robo-advisors using mean variance optimization, getting different returns. So you can even use the same technology and have different people, with different inputs and different outputs. So right now we have a patent on full-scale optimization, but it's certainly possible that other people could come up with other technologies that would rival ours. So I wouldn't say that, we're going to be the only winners in the market. I wouldn't box myself into that corner.
Right. Well, it's a fascinating concept here, and it's so inexpensive. It really sounds like it puts the individual investor on the same footing as these big hedge funds. Is there a minimum that you need to invest to really make the most of it?
Well, that's the idea, Kerry. Allio stands for all inputs and outputs all in one. The idea, having been a global macro strategist myself on the buy side, the idea is that there's no reason why the retail investor can't get access to these investment strategies or where technology is at. I think financial literacy is something that, we don't have in this country. And if there was a higher financial literacy rate, I think, people would vote wiser. People would look at policy closer. People need to take ownership over their lives and their future and stop believing that the government is going to be this panacea for the future. And so that's what we hope is going to be the externality of our mission.
All right. Well, I think it's noble. I guess it's the kind of thing that we're really only going to know with the passage of time, right? How this works. For Joe Sixpack, a guy who's active in the market but not a professional trader, how should he use this? How should he use Allio?
Passively, right? I think you should let the professionals do what they do and learn. The difference between Allio and other platforms is that you can learn while you do it. For example, we offer a flexible portfolio feature, and what that allows people to do after you see your Allio core portfolio, if you want to start learning, you can swap out sectors or industries or strategies rather than try to pick individual securities, which is a fool's errand. If you don't have any experience in the markets, it's basically tantamount to going to Las Vegas. You can learn, and that's how I learned, by starting with sectors. Then once you can identify sectors and which way markets are moving, then you can get into individual securities within those sectors.
Okay. I'm intrigued by it, I have to tell you. And so how do we find out more about this? How do we connect? How do we get on board?
Well, you can download it in the App Store, on the iOS Store, or Android, Google Play, or you can go to alliofinance.com and just learn more about the team and learn more about our philosophy.
All right. Well, like I say, I am intrigued by it, really intrigued. I think it's got amazing potential. Kind of been looking for something like this myself. Maybe I will go open an account and see where it takes me. If you got a question about Allio, you can always send me an email. We'll get you an answer quickly from Joseph. It's kl@kerrylutz.com. And you'll find all the links to the various Allio social media, website, etc. on financialsurvivalnetwork.com in the show notes of this interview. And while you're there, sign up for your free newsletter. Hey, Joseph, really intriguing. I'm going to check this thing out. We're going to have you back on the show, talk about my experiences.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Kerry.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.